Hey, what's up guys, it's Cypher. There have been a ton of leaks about how the rest of Fortnite Season 7 is going to play out. Let's start off by talking about the major map changes that are coming this season. Before we talk about Coral Castle and the eventual abduction of Coral Castle, let's talk about the changes that are confirmed for Lazy Lake, Weeping Woods, and Holly Hedges. You guys might know there's some alien parasites around the map. You might see them attached to different wildlife, and you can also just find them laying on the ground in certain spots. But these alien parasites are actually going to invade these 3 POIs and change them. It could just be that there's going to be a bunch of parasites on those POIs, but I personally think there's going to be even more changes because we know that Holly Hedges is actually going to be renamed to Holly Hatches. We have this leaked picture of a house in Holly looking completely different. So the alien parasites are going to take over these 3 locations. It's going to be really interesting to see how these parasites affect these POIs and if more people are going to start using parasites in their gameplay, because right now it seems like not a lot of people are using them. Okay, so now let's talk about the big POI change. This one is going to have a lot of extra sauce on it. Coral Castle, probably my least favorite POI. It's been there for a while and I've never liked it from the start. Well, what's going to happen is that the mothership is going to abduct Coral Castle. Why? We're not entirely sure. We know that the mothership tried to take the 0 point from the center of the map, and I think it successfully did, and it has it in the ship. But why Coral Castle? There might be something underneath there that will be exposed once it gets abducted. And here's what's going on. So the mothership is actually moving across the map right now. If you open the map and you look at the mothership, it's actually in a different spot than where it was last week. And it seems to be moving clockwise. So what's probably going to happen is that it's eventually going to move over Coral Castle, and you'll see the shadow on the map cover Coral Castle. And that's when the abduction is going to begin. There is also a bonus thing right here. In the game right now, at one of the gas stations, there is a sign shows Coral Castle being abducted by the aliens. And it shows this huge chunk of floating island in the sky. There is a chance that this abduction is going to be happening in game, as in it's not going to just happen. It's going to be like actively happening, so that there might be a floating island above Coral Castle. Like a big chunk of it is just going to be floating in the air. Similar to how when Kevin the Cube was floating in the air, there was that floating island on top of Kevin the Cube. Underneath the big crater that's going to be created, the IO guards are actually going to build out a base there. We also know that in the IO base that's being built, there's going to be an exotic Chimera NPC who's going to sell the new Burst exotic pulse rifle. It is a pulse rifle, and if you guys don't know yet, the pulse rifle is not that great. It's a lot weaker than the Stark rifle, for example. But this exotic rifle could actually be very useful. It's going to shoot accurate burst shots, which could be useful, especially if the fire rate is high enough. I think this gun might have potential. Another reason why this gun could be very useful is that there is a leaked zero gravity biome that is in the game files. And this zero gravity biome is probably going to be around this Coral Castle crater. The entirety of Coral Castle could be covered by this zero gravity biome that's created by those zero gravity cubes, which are also coming to the game. And maybe players are going to have to be like floating around, and this exotic rifle could be a very good way to pick players out of the sky who are flying around or floating in this biome. I think it's going to really make the top right of the map a lot more interesting. Right now, I feel like that entire area around the shark, the lighthouse, and Coral Castle, not a lot of people land there, and it's not a very interesting spot. But if you have this big UFO kind of abducting Coral Castle, if you have a floating island, if you have this exotic pulse rifle to purchase, there's definitely going to be a lot of action around that side of the map, and I think that's something that the map really needs right now. That's not all that's coming. These are just the map changes, but there's also a leaked item, and this is a very Fortnite item that got me excited. It's called the Inflatable. It's a play on the word inflatable, and this item is a suit that lets you roll down hills, bounce off of cliffs, and be invulnerable to all damage. You won't take fall damage. If you press jump while you're in the air, you will activate this inflatable suit, similar to how the glider redeploy item used to work. And when you first use it, you'll get a burst of speed in a certain direction, kind of like a boost with the ballers. And you'll start rolling around and bouncing around in this suit. Of course, the suit can take damage and then will eventually pop, but while you're in the suit, you will not be taking damage, and you can kind of just bounce around and maybe even knock other players off. If you guys have ever watched people play like soccer, for example, inside those big inflatable bubbles, that's probably how it's going to look or how it's going to actually play out. I'm really excited about this item because it feels like a very fun, unique item that's going to create a lot of memes and interesting videos. And this is the kind of item that we really need in Fortnite to kind of make things a little bit more fun and lighthearted. Speaking of animals and inflatable suits, we're actually going to be able to ride an animal that's coming either this season or next season. I'm assuming it's going to come this season because we talked a lot about kangaroos and platypuses and octopuses, and those animals were actually talked about a lot leading up to the season in certain dialogue and certain leaks, but we haven't seen any of those animals yet. But I'm not disappointed because Epic has really been pushing out a lot of content, and they've come in with some super fire content in their first update, and the season does seem to be packed with potential in terms of what's coming. There's also some very important quality of life features that are coming to Fortnite. This is actually something that has been asked for from the very beginning of Fortnite, and that is a preferred weapon slot. You're going to be able to set up your preferred weapons to go into certain slots. So if you want your shotgun to be in the first category or first slot of your loadout, you can select that, and whenever you pick up a shotgun, it's going to prioritize the shotgun to be filled there. Or whatever, however you want to set up your loadout with your ARs and shotguns, you'll be able to set preferences so that when you pick up items, they'll go into those preferred slots and you won't have to spend too much time in your inventory moving things around. There's also a keep playing option where you're going to be able to keep playing with random duos and squads. And that's pretty interesting. And honestly, I'm probably going to do a lot more random squad and duo videos once this keep playing option exists, because usually people ask me to, add them if I play a random duo with them. And sometimes I do, but usually I don't have enough time, or, I don't want them to spam me. The keep playing option can give me the opportunity to play another match with them. On top of that, they have officially banned the superhero skins from competitive, like completely banned the superhero skins. Before, they only banned like the all black or all gray options, but now they've banned all the colors, because honestly, the all white superhero was even more broken than the other ones, because whenever you put down a fresh new build, the blueprint is kind of very light, and the white superhero skin actually blended in really well. I've seen some crazy clips of the superhero skin just completely disappearing in the middle of the fight. Another big piece of news is we knew Loki was eventually coming into the Fortnite universe, but with the next crew pack skin, he's actually going to be the crew pack skin that's coming in. Loki, of course, from the Marvel movies. I'm not entirely sure how Epic is going to tie him into the story with the aliens. But guys, regarding the crew pack skin, I'm wondering how many of you actually are subscribed to the crew pack. I personally am. I'm just wondering how many of the casual viewers and player base are actually subscribed to the crew pack, and do you guys feel like there's enough incentive to subscribe? Guys, we do have an update, or a little mini update, coming in on Tuesday, and most likely we're going to get those zero gravity nanite cubes. Maybe the abduction of Coral Castle will happen then, but I'm not too sure. That might be a little bit too soon. Hopefully it does though, because I'm ready for some more Fortnite content. I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe.